I would decide to have a sneezing fit right when we go live.
Yes, of course. I'm just letting everybody know we on.
I would decide to have a sneezing fit right when we go live. I know, give me a second. First. I had to wait till you made it live before I could mute that. There was no mute option before that.
Understood. Come on now. Okay, so I'm gonna just put out here that the West Coast is not really feeling this time.
Oh, I'm sure.
None of my tech is working. None of my tech is working.
Okay, let's see.
All right, I've let everybody know that needs to know. Okay, cool. Let's see. Good morning, Meta.
Hey there.
All right. And of course, on this Saturday, the sun is not out. It's all clouds.
Right, of course.
Morning, Jazzy.
Hey.
All right, the Twitch contingent is in the place to be.
Mm-hmm.
What it is. It's early. Ugh.
It's real early for you.
And it's not that I wouldn't normally be up. I just would not normally be up and, this chatty.
Yes.
With the public.
Right, exactly.
But it's all good. All good.
We have had chats from Marco Polo chats from the bed before this early.
In the dark. Good morning, Margaret.
Once you're in the room, let us know, people. Hey, Bev.
What up?
Let us know you're in the room.
I can't think of the song to come in the room.
I can. I'm wrong in the room.
That one.
Hey, Coco, you at work? How you here?
She's like, I'm on a break.
Okay. Appreciate you, though.
Kobe, I dreamed about you last night. I'll tell you about it later.
She's like, uh-oh.
It was wild.
Hey. Oh, you're upstairs. I thought you left. Oh, see, that's a
mom of the year. Mom of the year.
Well, she's one of those people like Dion. She will not be late for things. And she's supposed to be at work at 11. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, well. Yeah.
We are early. Ooh, are y'all feeling?
We are early, but we're gonna get started because I got these from Kay. But thank you.
I'll send you a pair too.
She had them on one time, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna need those." And the next thing you know, I was getting them in the mail. So, yeah, we're on early, not so that we could talk for 4 hours, but we have just kind of some things going on, and we were like,
everybody got something going on right now.
It's facts. But we were like, we can't not. Now my printer's just printing everything.
It really.
We couldn't let the week pass and not talk about all the things that popped off since Sunday. So
you got that right.
No, seriously.
We hear it. We hear
it. And I can't stop it. Last time we were on it at 10.
Okay.
That won't happen again. All right. What's your shirt say?
Enough is enough. This is actually a Target Black History Month shirt.
Hey.
Enough is enough. Y'all see, I got to change of location today. In a whole different place. We're gonna see how this goes.
My shirt says, Black woman, the strongest being on earth. See also teacher, nurturer, mother of civilization. Make a note. You heard me. Make a note.
I mean, for real.
Hey, Deb.
Hey. Also,
Yes.
y'all tell me.
Rise of the machines up in my house. Yes.
Hey, watch out now. 20 and 21, you just don't know. So y'all tell me if my image is clearer this week. I got a new webcam that I'm trying out. So if my image is clearer, let me know in the comments, please. If not, I'll return this mug.
Right. Be like, tried it, didn't like it. No thanks.
Okay, good. Thanks, Jazzy. Okay, let's get this mug started.
All right. So the title of this episode is In Mother of Queen Oprah. Who is having that conversation? And if you saw the interview, that was a moment.
It was. I mean,
she was like,
Oprah did not know if she wanted to roll up and fight or cry. She was like, I got warring instincts happening right now.
What? Who was having that conversation? I was like, you're in my head, because that's exactly what the people want to know. Who said that shit? Who said it? We're going to get into that. So welcome to Twofer Tea. I'm just going to warn you guys off top today. It's low production. Like we got too much to talk about. It's low pro. It's low pro today.
That's not the kind of thing you tell people. You just say, we're throwing it back to our early days.
Yes, we're taking it back to the old school. And so I just want to say welcome to Twofer Tea. We had a new blog post up. I don't know if you saw it.
Yes.
But visit the blog, twoferblog.com, to learn more about us if you already don't know. We're two friends, two writers, two very big opinions. You know, we chop it up. So that's why you're here. We want to thank our partners, and we'll talk a lot more about them at the end, but Creative Sippin', Curly and Spiritually Fit, Melanin Mindscape, Disrupting Balance, the Spiked Sweet Tea podcast. Check them out. Oh, I forgot. Sorry. We have new partners. Almost forgot. Newish partners. They've been with us for a couple of weeks now. So we've got Gluten-Free Black Girl. And if y'all are not following her on Instagram, get your life, because the recipes, that's all I'm gonna say. And Clay Botanics. And I have to do my mask today. I should take pictures when I do it.
Yes.
Yeah, because I look a mess, but afterwards I look great. Yeah. So we'll talk more about them at the end of the live. And so we're going to get into it because we got to get out today. Like we can't play around and be like, oh, look, it's been 5 hours. Yeah,
right. Do that. Y'all make us do that.
So engage with us, with your comments. We can see all the comments on all the platforms. And so when something's funny, I can do this. Woot.
Low production, not low production.
Yeah, it's lower production. Let me put it like that. Right. And it's so funny because my notes say when we go over an hour, come back.
I know. We don't have to worry about that anymore. Our days are over.
From a different time. So we're going to get into the A block, which we're calling high tea, because it was all the tea. Yes. And it was hot. It was piping hot.
Indeed it was. I have approximately zero interest in the royal family. So I wasn't expecting to care about this interview. But I said, I know they've, they made them, or what do they call it, the Megxit.
Yes,
they're in the U.S. now. There were clearly some issues. Let's just see what they got to say.
So I was intrigued. I didn't know who Meghan Markle was. I didn't watch Suits. And she was fairly nondescript to me.
I mean, she was also a briefcase opener on the show. Yeah, that show.
But I mean, I just didn't know anything about her. And then when they were like, Harry's dating a black chick, I was like, okay, who? And then when they showed her, I was like, oh, yeah, okay. And then I didn't think anything of it. It's like, okay, then they're getting married. And I was like, oh, okay, Harry, I see you sixth in line. I would do what the fuck I want to do too.
And that's what I was about to say. It's Harry. And Harry has a history and a tradition, at least from the headlines I've seen, of kind of doing what the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
Because he can. Yeah.
And why would you not?
Yes.
How many people have to die before you get a sniff at the throne?
Exactly. And I think, well, I don't think anymore. I know that he likes it that way. I mean, he said as much. He said,
yeah,
they're trapped. I mean, my brother is trapped. My father is trapped.
And he basically said they're in the sunken place.
He did. He did.
Basically said.
He sure did. Yeah. He would never.
I mean, Charles has to die, and I feel like the Queen is going to outlive him on purpose.
Yeah, on purpose.
William, William's sons,
yes, exactly.
Sons, and if Harry is sixth, so Charlotte also, right? Like his whole line has to die. Like they all have to get torpedoed, and then Andrew, and then him.
Yes, exactly. The torpedo kind of fucked me up.
That would be so British. That would be such a British thing to happen.
British thing to happen, yes.
Yeah, so I'm just like, yeah, this is why it doesn't happen to me, because I would have been from the jump, from the get. Oh no, I do what I do.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you didn't have to be into the royal family to know that before this interview, they were over there wilding about Meghan. The British press had no filters. They were saying the most, first of all, the treatment, even if you don't want to talk about, even if there may be a particular article that didn't have overtly racist language, the treatment, the difference in the treatment between Kate and Meghan has been
so obvious.
Oprah even brought up during the interview one instance where they talked about eating avocados and how when Kate ate avocados, it was all about, she's doing this healthy thing for her baby, blah, 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 blah. And when Meghan ate avocados, it was about Meghan eats a fruit linked to, deforestation. And it's like, how do you justify, or you don't have to justify.
You don't have to.
Especially when you're in bed with the monarchy, you don't have to justify.
You don't have to. Okay. That was the key. And I was from the beginning, like you, what I started seeing, I remember when William was dating Kate. I remember the on and off and the, she's a party girl and she's this and she's that. And I remember rooting for them. Like, okay,
absolutely.
I just want her to live because, this is not a lifestyle that,
and she's not a male. So that was the whole fairy.
She's not his cousin. So that's problematic. And so, immediately, like you said, once I put two and two together, that when they said Black, they were talking about Meghan Markle. I was like, and so they were wilding. They were wilding like she was, Lupita. I mean, they were acting like he went to the depths of the dark continent and found somebody.
Absolutely.
Who didn't speak the king's English. And, like he's trying to raise her up from something. I'm like, then they tried to make it seem like it was about the fact that she was a divorcee.
Yes.
Stop it.
Right.
Not when y'all got Camilla's ass sitting up.
Yes.
Like she always been there.
So Deb, you said, what did Harry think was going to happen? He said, basically, he didn't think he thought, some people will make a big deal out of it, but not my people.
Right.
He was duped. He was, let me rephrase that. He wasn't duped. He was blind. He was being blind. He wasn't seeing what was right there in front of his face, which is what Afro Jazzy says, the fact that British society is racist. And it was exposed to those of us who were those of them who were in denial.
And you know what else I think too? I said this to Hubs, that Harry did a thing that men do.
Yep.
Which is, oh, my mom's going to love you. Oh, my family's going to love you.
They're all gonna love you.
You don't know them.
Yes.
Like you want it to be so. They're going to love you because I love you. And everything's going to be cool because they love me. Instead of giving her the game, like, this shit ain't for the faint of heart. Like, Let me tell you, this is what happened with my brother. Yes. And, it's going to be at least as dramatic as that, because you were not born into this. You were not bred for this at a minimum.
Right. what did Megan think was going to happen, Deb? I'm going to tell you what I believe Megan thought. And that's a conversation we haven't had yet because we were saving it because we didn't want to have that conversation in front of company, right? That's the conversation that you have in the house. That's the in-house conversation. But here's what I think. I think that she thought what was going to happen is exactly what's happened to her most of her life. Mm-hmm. Her proximity to whiteness affords her a certain level of privilege. And she thought that that privilege would carry over.
Yeah.
And I don't even think it was conscious. I think it's subconscious. She is, and which is, how privilege works. She is so accustomed to that level of privilege that when someone called out a part of her that she often doesn't often have to associate with, she was kind of fucked up. I think she had did they just call me moment?
I agree because I think that she was Hey, Miss Tiffstar. I think she was very comfortable in not really having to address that, not having to check a box.
Nope.
Because I can be whatever you need me to be, and back to my people of color diatribe, when it suits me, I can be Black. I can be not Black when it suits me. And
I'm going to say, I don't know about this on her because when did she ever before this moment have to choose Black?
She didn't. That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So, they chose it for her. And to your point, that was her privilege. Like she never really had to. She, okay. Yeah. I mean, I remember her talking about having to check the box and how that made her uncomfortable and, this, that, and the third. And okay. That's not something that I've ever had to suffer with because if I check white, people are going to be like, bitch, what are you doing? We get it. You have a slender nose, but that's not it. So, I agree wholeheartedly. I just think that she, aside from not having done her homework, which is what she said. And I mean, I can kind of rock with her on that part because I can see how if you were not steeped in all things royal, that you would think that a lot of that stuff that you saw was for show, that it was outward, that I don't really have to curtsy the queen when I meet her.
At that moment, that story she told, where they were like, oh, we're going to the house to see my grandma. And she was like, okay. And they're getting out of the car. And
like, great with grandmas.
Yeah. She's like, they're like, do you know how to curtsy? She's like, well, we're going to see your grandma. And they're like, but she's the queen.
You're going to see the queen. Right. You're going to see the queen.
Right. And I think,
And I mean, I tracked with her 100% on that. I can see being taken aback, like, oh, snap, I have to. Right. And again, so that's Harry. To me, that's
absolutely
not really being forthright about what it is like to be in this family when, I mean, and granted, we have the crown to fall back on, and can see, damn, Charles had to, I watched it and, having to see her children address her as Your Highness and Your Majesty and shit, like you're my mother. Yes. And there was no delineation. I mean, the closest I can think is that if you are a preacher's kid and that preacher is the pastor of a church, he or she makes you call them pastor. Like, no, you're my mother, you're my father. There has to be some, delineation here. And so Harry should have prepped her, I think.
Absolutely. He should have. Or maybe he thought someone from the firm would.
Ooh, the firm, girl. I was like, that's who we are from now on. We are the firm. We are not the Moody's. We are the firm, bitch. Okay. Do not refer to us by our surnames.
Yeah. But she said that she not only did she not do research, but they also did not prep her because even if she had done research, she wouldn't have realized that some of these things. Well, first of all, she wouldn't have realized all of the inner workings, which were just disturbing as fuck, nor would she have realized what she needed to know. For instance, things like there's an HR department.
Girl, she said she went to HR.
I was like, what?
And then they told her, you don't work here.
They're like, you feel really bad that you're having mental issues, but you don't work for us. So, and not only did they say you don't work for us, they're also like, and we're not gonna pay you. So
okay, hold on. Because we have skipped past something before we get into the firm and the HR department. Yes, the firm sounds like the Volturi. Absolutely.
Yes.
The Windsor.
I like it. Approved.
Let's back the train up for a second, because what was super striking to me was when when Megan was talking about how everything got flipped. The first story was about Kate. And I remember the story coming out about Megan making Kate cry, which immediately I was like, bullshit. White woman tears, miss me. Okay. Whatever it is, boo. So when she was like, first of all, it was the opposite. I was like, that sounds more like it.
And she was so careful. Can I just interject and say,
yes,
I did not realize how smart she was, because I've never heard her sit down and talk. That woman is smart.
Yes, she is.
When I tell you the way that she crafted her words, not knowing the questions in advance, they made that clear at the beginning of the interview. She did not know the questions in advance. She did not even know topics in advance. She said nothing was off the table. So to have so carefully and calmly and strategically answered those questions, I'm like, okay.
She was like, I'm not going to say it, but if you say it, I will look at that person and blow.
Exactly.
She was, and I tweeted while I was watching it, the monarchy did not deserve her, number one, because she's way too nice. You know, she wanted to call Kate a fucking bitch. She should have, but she's better than that. She's better. Jesus still working on me.
Right. She said, I don't want to fault her for that, because she has apologized. I have forgiven her and we've moved on.
She said, and I would hope that she would want the record set straight. I was like, I see you. So, you know, so that was kind of a funny, I mean, none of this is funny, but it was kind of a funny ha-ha. But what wasn't funny was when she said about the picture outside the hospital. Now that shit broke my heart, because I just remember all of this press, because the US press was talking about it, about, you know, how they didn't, you know, pose for the traditional picture outside the hospital. And she said, they didn't ask us to. I mean, and given what some other stuff that's about to come out in this conversation and in that conversation, it makes perfect sense. But I just wanted to go back and talk about the Kate thing, because every time Kate looks to me, you know, the way I feel about Brandy, love her music, but I feel like she's fake as a $3 bill. That is Kate to me. That has been her. I feel like she became Stepford, she became Windsor, and she became Stepford. And in a moment where she had an opportunity to give somebody the game and be like, let me help you, she didn't, because she got one drop. If Megan had blonde hair and blue eyes, Kate would have been all over that, trying to, you know, get in good, because Megan's not, whoever Harry married wouldn't be a threat to her. You are in direct line to being the Queen of England, not this person. So you had nothing to lose by being like, girl, let me tell you, nope, don't wear that, wear this. Yeah. Oh, look, girl, look, you have to do that. But no.
I get a different impression looking at Kate. Because if you look at her, she looks soulless as fuck. If you look at her eyes, she looks like defeated. Like, and I'm not crying tears for her, but I'm saying she looks as though at one point she was optimistic and, you know, bright, and now she just kind of looks like
sunken.
She looks sunken.
She behaves like Imani Aziz. I mean, like,
we don't know that she does. We know that instance, and I wholeheartedly believe Megan that that she wasn't prepared for this life. I believe that Kate broke the fuck down about bridesmaids' dresses, no doubt. I believe she was bitch to her about it. I don't believe. I mean, I believe her 100%, but I also believe that Kate was probably like, you know, you don't have any power
Yeah.
And then you get this one little kernel of power, like police officers do sometimes, and you abuse that shit. Like, I feel like that may be happening with her. She's abusing that one little one, like she's trapped.
Ting, 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 ting,
Yes. I know. I should have had a mug today.
Okay, so that's the whole Kate shit. I mean,
Yes.
you know, her and William. We're gonna talk about William in a minute, but
yeah. Okay, go ahead.
So, you know, there was some Kate hate, and Megan did a really good job of rising above it. Being like, you know, I don't wish ill. I don't, you know, like, I'm like, I want that bitch to fall into the deepest, darkest.
Right. And not deflect. Talked about it. She just rose above. Yeah.
Yeah. She just rose above it. She said what she had to say and she kept it moving.
Yeah.
I liked when Oprah asked her, when we saw you at the US Open or Wimbledon, or I think it was Wimbledon, and you were there, you know, cheering on your friend, Serena.
Yep.
And sitting next to Kate, was that what it looked like? And Megan said, nothing is what it looks like.
Exactly. She's like, she basically said, never what it looks like.
Never. It's never what it looks like. I was like, oh, snap. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So we were basically talking about how they had Megan fucked up. They fucked her up. They had her fucked up. She
was too smart. She was too good at the job.
Like Diana.
And she was she wasn't docile enough to fall in line. That's what
Tamp it, be 50% less.
Right.
We need you to be less.
Say less.
No, actually say less.
Right.
She's like, bitch, I haven't left this palace in 4 months.
Which
how can I be less?
Yes. Which goes into the next point, where they were saying things to her like, we need you to just stay in and take it down. You're everywhere in the media. Everybody's talking about you. Everybody's seeing you. We need you to pull back. And she's like, I literally haven't left this home in 4 months. How can I pull back more than that?
They took her passport. They took her driver's license. They took all that shit. So you can't go anywhere.
She has no money of her own, no passport, no driver's license, no keys.
And you know they would have been like, what do you mean you're royal? You're not royal, bitch. Right. Fuck out of here. No, we're arresting you right now.
She said it's not like I could take an Uber. I was like,
she really did.
Yeah, that part. And anyway, but because of this and the way, the weight of it all, you know how things compound. She had started to feel trapped. She had started to feel like she had lost a grip on her life. She had no autonomy. And she asked for help. Megan asked for help from the establishment, from the firm, from the institution. That's the other word they used.
Yes. Sounds a lot more, it sounds closer to what that is, like Crazy House, just the institution.
Exactly. So she asked for help from the institution. She asked for help from her husband, who also asked for help from the institution. And they were told there was nothing that could be done. They couldn't help them. She was like, I need to go to a hospital, to a clinic or something. They were like, no. See the way the optics is set up, like if you check yourself in somewhere, she couldn't be left alone. Yeah, she said that to her husband when he said he was going to some event, and he said, you don't have to go. She was like, no, I do, because I'm afraid of what might happen if I'm here left alone by myself.
And she was pregnant when that happened.
Yes.
She said, I don't want to live. Full stop. Not, I don't want to live here. I don't want to live without. I don't want to live with people. I don't want to live. That is so deep. And you know, you didn't watch The Crown, but it's literally history repeating itself. Like Diana went through things like this, and it was like, you need to suck it up. You need to, you know, figure that shit out. And it's like, okay, suck it up. And that's when she had to go to HR, trying to get some assistance, trying to get some family medical leave. Right. And they were like, yeah, no, we ain't got that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll take some Tylenol and call it in the morning.
I mean, but they don't want people talking. If people will talk, it looked bad. They cared nothing about that woman. They do not care. And, I have to ask how much they care about Harry.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I said that part of the issue with Harry, and people keep telling me they had blood tests and they, posted that. But part of the issue with Harry, I think, is that Charles punk ass doesn't believe that's his son.
Yeah.
And the way they treat him, there may be some credence to that because Diana was not perfect and she was out getting hers while Charles was out getting his. And he, early on was like, and somehow Diana was pregnant again. And it was like, So, I think that some of this is just residual. Like we never really dealt with that. And I get the people who are like, they would have put her out. They would have turned her out on the street with her bastard child. I'm not sure because they're such slaves to the optics.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So, and because they had William.
And they had William. They already had the heir. They already had the heir apparent. And so, my thing is, she actually made it very convenient for them to continue treating him like a stepchild. And the taking the titles and all of that. I mean, yes, obviously they were having that conversation because they weren't sure what Archie was going to look like. And do you bitches go to school? Like, do you?
I mean, really?
Her mother is mixed.
Yes.
She married a white man. So Meghan is like quarter.
Which is what Piers Morgan said, that she was 25% Black. But
so given that, when Piers Morgan got the math and y'all don't have the math,
right.
I think that Archie was gonna come out looking like Michael Blackson.
Right.
What made you worry about that?
He wasn't gonna be no Wesley Snipes.
Girl. And so, yes, that was the moment. For those of you that didn't watch it, you need to go back and watch her indicate that a conversation was being had about how dark Archie's skin would be. They didn't even know it was a boy yet. Right. How dark this baby's skin would be. And that's when Oprah said, who was having that conversation?
Right.
Who said that?
She said it just like that.
Who
was having, she was back in her chair like, who was having that conversation?
I was like, yes, Mother Oprah. Ask the questions, baby. Ask.
Yes.
And then it was the whole, he won't be titled.
Yes.
And so with the titles, I mean, I really appreciate the fact that she clarified, listen, I'm not married to these damn titles. Like, I don't care about any of that, but security comes with the title.
Right.
There are certain protections that come with the title, and you're changing rules that have been in place since the beginning of the monarchy. And
then that begs the question, on what basis are you changing these rules? And that's what you have to answer some hard questions.
Correct. I mean, Andrew's kids have titles and he wasn't the heir to the throne. Anne's children have titles. All these secondary people who have no, they're not in line, they have titles.
Yes.
Fergie.
For those who didn't watch it, yes. They were told their son or whatever the child was would not be given a title and therefore would not be given security or other protections.
The child of a prince.
Yeah.
but Andrew and Fergie's daughter, Eugenie, which I was like, oh, thank you for telling me how to pronounce that, because I was always saying Eugenie.
Yeah.
She's got a type, Princess Eugenie, and her new children are. But
yes, UK is into the chat. Okay.
Hey, us, UK.
Yes, tell us.
Yes, Andrew has titles and he's a fucking pedophile.
Right.
So that's my other point. And then Meghan gave them cover, but for all the wrong shit. They served her up on a platter to the tabloids, I think, because that meant that they could talk about her and not Andrew. They could talk about her and not William sharing his peen like a Groupon. They could talk about her and not all the other shit that was going on. And so, to the point about the tabloids being in bed with the royal family, they're like, we'll just let you have Meghan. Like, we're not going to fight you on that.
Right. Which I mean, it's so incestuous, and I think Oprah said that as well, that the royal the palace hosts holiday parties for the tabloids.
Yes.
And then the tabloids are, it's unspoken. They're afforded a certain amount of access, and they provide a certain level of good press in exchange. I mean, they feed off of each other. It's gross. Yeah. And
what's the bridge too far? That's what I wondered. Like, at what point are we like, okay, that's off limits? And so to Megan's point, like, some stuff was easily correctable. Like, you didn't have to hang her out there like that and let it just rock. And but you did.
Yeah. And you have addressed smaller issues to assist other members of the family. But
yes, DJ react. The royal family needs the tabloids for sure.
I mean, absolutely. They said something to the effect of, they don't want the people to realize they don't need the royal family. So I'm not on Meghan McCain's page where I'm saying monarchy is stupid. I'm not going there because it clearly serves a purpose for a lot of people.
Sure.
It's a symbolic purpose, but it serves a purpose for a lot of people. Hey, also Salty.
Good morning.
But yeah. Okay, we got to keep it moving.
I know. Ugh. All right. So Harry. Harry, they did this like the Newlywed Show. Like, he was somewhere else off camera, couldn't hear all the things that Meghan said, and Oprah was hitting him with the body blows. Like, Meghan told us. And he was like, yes. You could see that he was like, I don't want to talk bad about my family, but
well, I didn't get that. I got she already said it. She's much more eloquent than I am.
Yeah.
I mean, because he was kind of like, oh, I mean, she's out there crafting and weaving, and he's like, I
mean, because the only time that he really was like, okay, was when she said, who asked you about the skin tone? He was like, I'm absolutely not discussing that.
Right. But
at which point I knew it was William.
Right, exactly. Here's why and we'll get to Piers Morgan later, but Piers Morgan, in his argument that preceded his storming off in a tantrum, said that Meghan said this stuff about the skin tone and it was based on hearsay, an argument, a conversation she didn't even hear. Her husband said it to her and confirmed it in the interview. And the co-host, which we'll get to later, said something to the effect of, stop trying to separate Harry and Meghan.
Right.
They're not they're one entity. They are a team.
Right.
So yeah, Harry got daddy issues when he said at one point, yes, something my father, before he stopped taking my calls, and everything kind of froze for a minute, like,
I was like, oh, what a piece of shit. You up here, and we're going to talk about Camilla Gate in a minute, but you up here, fucking somebody else your whole marriage, your whole marriage.
And someone
before the marriage, during the marriage.
Words, but Diana,
I know.
Camille.
And I'm just saying, like, you understand what it is to have, I mean, okay, so even if you never loved Diana, cool, but you saw what happened with her. You saw how, all of this transpired. You saw she died, right? And you understand what it is. As Harry said, you understand pain. Mm-hmm. How are you not taking your child's call? Which goes back to my previous assertion that
I think it's because, like Jazzy said, he's a piece of shit.
Yeah. A piece of sheet.
Yes. Shite.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, right. He was careful to say it wasn't grandma or grandpa. And that's because also he noted that he still has a relationship with him. He talks to his grandmother often, which it makes us wonder how much she's like Lady Eloise, how much the Queen is like Lady Eloise.
Has no power,
right? And that the firm is operating outside of her. She's a figurehead. And therefore, a lot of these decisions that are supposedly made by the Queen, are they?
And now that she's older, I imagine that a lot of people are going around her.
Yes.
She still has her wits about her. So it's not like she's old and infirm.
Right.
But I bet you that DJ React said Charles is very much the firm. I 110% agree that people are probably making decisions in her name without saying anything to her, thinking, what's she gonna do?
Right. And you know, she's been the queen forever. I wouldn't blame her if she was at a point in her life where she's like, can I just rest and wear my handbag and put this blanket over my head? Y'all go do that.
Right. And my hat. I just want to, you know, be out here knighting people. That's all I want to do.
Right. I would not blame her for that. But yeah, everybody's saying it. I think we all believe it, that William is got his hands all in this mess. Have y'all seen the memes where they're like, Diana snatched back her good jeans? It's horrible. But y'all know that William was fine. He was a cutie when he was young.
He was.
And now he
got that ill ball spot.
I mean,
at the
yeah. Yeah, the advisors make the decisions, DJ React. Not at all surprising. But he talked about their relationship. Harry talked about his relationship with his brother being there being space. Yeah. Yes, there's space. But he also said, that's my brother forever. And I'm, you know, when we want, it will right itself and I'll be here.
Yeah, well, we've been through a lot. We've been through hell together, he said. But William was also the one that was like, watch her. You know, I would be careful of that one, mate. She's divorced, she's Black. And an actress, you know.
Yes.
Not remember Princess Grace. Not that.
Can I just ask in this, and I'm gonna keep it moving, but why do we always act like women have the power to do these things to men, to make them leave their families, to make them, you know, lose their minds? I mean, look, I will just say the reverse. There's no PP in the world that is going to make me lose my mind. None. I appreciate valuable PP. It's not gonna make me lose my mind. So I have to do the math and assume that there is no, as my daughter would say, vagina that is going to make some man walk away from the monarchy.
They are either the smartest people that they believe that they are, or they are just ridiculously stupid.
Right.
They can't be both. It can't be you got a hold of a piece that just got your nose open and that's the movies, bro. That's not real.
Not real.
It's not real. Edward, okay, but you know,
there are folk songs about it.
I'm just saying, like, I agree. I feel you're making a conscious decision, and you can scapegoat the woman if you want to, and you do. You often do.
They want to, and
you made a decision, and you need to own that decision. And they hate that Harry is owning the decision. Harry's like, I've seen this shit before. This is not happening to my wife and my family. I'm out.
Yeah. But that was a conscious decision though, right? DJ React, he wasn't under some compulsion. He wasn't under pussy compulsion. He wasn't, I mean, you know what I mean? It was like a conscious decision that he made. And but anyway, let's keep him over. Mommy knows best. When Harry said that the only reason he was able to do what they're doing now is because of the money that his mother left him. And why would his mother have left an inheritance to a prince? Because she knew it might be necessary. That is so sad to me.
It's foresight like a mug too.
It is. I mean, another smart woman. And if you saw, I don't know if you've seen a video where Diana was being interviewed and was asked, do you think you'll ever be queen? And she was like, no. And she was like, basically, the people don't want me to be. I think that I'm out here doing good. I'm out here doing what I'm supposed to do, and because of it, I've lost a lot of support within the family," she said. So she was out here doing an Oprah interview by herself, you know, how many,
Yeah.
40 years ago. Yes. I'm seeing y'all's comments.
DJ React, I think it's sad because he's a prince.
Yes.
And she felt like she had to stash money away for it. Like, I know that the word on the street is the royal family is broke. But they not eating. And for her to have the foresight to think, I need to stash some shit away because it might go down. I mean, damn. Like,
you just said it, DJ React. You said the first part of your sentence is what we're saying. She knows the firm. And
yeah,
that's why she stashed away the money.
Right.
She knows the firm. Yeah. And Harry said that he could see history repeating itself in Meghan. He could see what had happened to his mother.
He said they pulled back the security while they were in Canada and every fucking body knew where they were. He said, okay, but did the threat level change?
Right.
And after 2 weeks, they came back to him. I was like, no, the threat level hasn't changed, but security's gone. Like, so into Tyler Perry.
Right. And y'all know I am not a fan of Tyler Perry's art at all. But I am a fan of what he does for the community and what he's done for individuals. So I'm always going to give him his props and his big ups for that. I'm not going to watch his movies or his TV shows. But Tyler Perry saved the day.
Yeah. It wasn't on my bingo card.
Published their Canadian address in the Daily Mail and the Canadian papers. And yet, right, the threat level shot up. See? Okay. Yeah. We definitely wouldn't have left it to Charles.
No.
Absolutely not. So what about little Archie?
First of all, I want to know if the person who said the shit about his tone, do they feel bad once they saw that he looks white as the driven snow?
Right. I mean, now, I will say this. He does look white, but his nose, he's going to be one of those kids people go like,
what are you?
They are. People who don't know are going to be asking him, what are you in the future?
Did you see the meme of the dude dancing, like getting his groove on? They were like, when Archie starts showing the family his black side. Yes. Come through, Archie. Hey, Auntie.
Yes, yes, they should.
Archie is going to be living his best life.
Yes.
I feel like I need to write a piece of fiction about something happening to all of the royal family, and he does have to ascend to the throne because like there is an heir. It's Harry, and he's out here with the dreads, with the white dreads, and the and they're like Princess Diaries, except the Prince Diaries or something. I feel like I need to write that.
Yes, I would read it. I would edit it. I would help market it. No, they're not going to be asking him if he's mixed. They're going to be saying, what you mix with? That's what they're going to be asking. Right.
Like, yeah. Did the one where Archie goes to Howard and is shimmying like a castle?
Hollered. You hear me? And the one with Michael B. Jordan from Black Panther, where he's like, hey, auntie. Dead. Man, with his little cute self and all his little talking and his first words and the stuff they said he's saying now.
Hydrate.
Yeah, hydrate. What toddler says hydrate?
Hydrate.
So cute.
Hydrate. And drive safe, though. Okay, so, drive safe. So I'm sure they say that to each other, right? But the mystics are like, it's Diana speaking through Archie, drive safe. I was like, ooh, that's creepy. And now I don't want to know. I don't want to laugh and think it's cute that he says drive safe.
Right? Yeah. DJ React, you know what? And I think that if he does go to an HBCU, it would definitely be because of Harry's influence. I agree with you. You know, we know.
Like, why don't you go to Howard, mate?
Right?
Sorry, I know that was so the worst British accent ever.
It was not the worst. It was not the worst. I promise you, it was not the worst.
Xavier,
yeah. Because we know Megan, she did not go that route. She went a traditional sorority route. Like we said, oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And her sorority sisters said she was the one who would open the door on the rush day to the whole thing where all the girls are standing behind you and they'd all be like, come in. And yeah, she was the door opener. Anyway. Yes. I'm going to say it for those of you who don't see the Twitch comments. He said he's going to go to Howard. Jazzy said, Afro Jazzy says he's going to go to Howard, major in British history and literature with a double major in Africana studies. Yes.
Oh,
yes. I love it. I love it. Yes. Okay. Well, we're doing good. So let's keep it moving. I'll say though, I think, Oprah ended by asking them, was she worried about any backlash? Were they worried about any, were they worried about their safety after this interview? And they were basically like, we can't live in fear. The truth is the truth, whether we tell it or not. And yeah, so I wish them, it was nice hearing him talk about being a fraud. Yes. So we do wish them the best. I kind of feel like we in the world right now, everything is revolution. Everything is revolution right now. And so it can be exhausting. But I've also seen people who are resistant to revolution be exhausted by it as well, because they're just like, oh my gosh, but everything is fucked up. And we're in a place right now where we have some momentum, and we're using the momentum to address all the shit. All the shit ain't gonna get solved.
Right. And I mean, like people that we're going to talk about in the next block, we are saying the quiet shit out loud.
Yes.
Like, we're not just silently being like, yeah, of course, the royal family was on some bullshit. No, we're going to say it.
Right.
They were on some bullshit. And it's because Megan wouldn't say the R word, but she didn't have to. Again, back to the beginning, like, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to lead you down the path. Mm-hmm. You're going to say it. And I'm just going to.
Yeah.
That part.
Exactly that. And it's because we have momentum. We're calling out shit that's not just happening now. It didn't just start happening now. The racism in the monarchy is old, old as Methuselah, and older. So is the rest of this racism. So right now is just a time where we're at a tipping point, so to speak, where everybody is taking that open door and saying all the shit that we're addressing all the shit that exists. And so it seems like a lot and it can be exhausting. But if we don't take the chance now, then when this shit, when the cycle makes its way back around, we have to start all over. B Block.
Wait, they also announced they're having a girl.
Yes, they did. Yes.
So that should
be you're so right, DJ React. The interview is not going to change anything within the family.
Yeah.
But it has definitely got many talking about who the family is. So we're going to talk about it a little bit more about that, about the royals' response in this next block, the B block, which is aptly named "They Tried It."
They tried it.
It's a lot of theys, and they all tried it. Okay. Yeah, Jazzy. Okay.
Meghan Markle's
whack
ass, saltine ass, just her father.
Yeah.
Couldn't wait. He's like, the door is open for me to come in and give my opinion that no one asked for. That we all know what your opinion is. You made that quite clear. Can't stand him.
And Meghan talked in the interview about, yes, he's all the trash.
All of it.
talked in the interview about how it fucked her up to learn that he was working with the tabloids. Mm-hmm.
So don't bring salt into this. You're right. But he's the unsalted saltines.
Yeah.
They're the worst. Like, why is that a thing? But okay.
But yeah, so he was working with the tabloids. Did you see you saw his interview where he was talking and he was like, if someone asked that question about the baby's skin color in kind of like an innocent way, I don't think it was, basically he was making excuses for the question and said that he doesn't think the monarchy is at all racist. I know. There is no innocent way. There is no innocent way. And we're going to talk more about that too after when we get to Piers Morgan.
Well, some other woman was like, you can ask it in a non-racist way. You cannot.
There's no way you can ask. It's okay. There's not. Just like there's no way to ask somebody, what are you? That's okay.
No, what are you? Well, yeah. Where are you from? Oh, I'm from, San Francisco. No. Mm-hmm. Where are you from?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't like him like 45. Dang, you really don't like him.
Yeah.
You really don't like him, DJ React.
We feel the same. Yeah.
Yeah. The way she talked about her dad, I thought he was dead, and he's definitely dead to her. She was very gracious about the way that she talked about him, which was as little as possible.
She's like, okay, this is going to become something else if I have to keep talking about him. It's going to be different.
Right, exactly. But he's trash, as we've said before, and he's clearly just using his daughter to get his own shine. Yes. Ooh, Salty is over here preaching. When you have an absent father, you talk about him like he won't come back. Absolutely.
Why are you jumping up in her mentions now? Like, sit down, go away.
This is all about him. This is typical. A lot of parents do this. A lot of parents of famous people, when they are estranged, want to reappear when there's an opportunity to get some shine off of your kid. And I think it's disgusting.
It is.
Yeah.
You might as well just be like, my sperm created that.
Right.
That's basically saying. Like, that was the transaction.
Right. See this penis?
Meghan Markle.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So since we talk about people who tried it and we're talking about Meghan, let's hit this Megyn Kelly.
With the heat of 1,000 suns, I cannot stand this woman.
Yeah.
I want to write a letter to Hollywood and just strongly admonish them for allowing Charlize Theron to play her. She didn't deserve that. She did not deserve her. She deserved Kristen Stewart. She did not deserve the bombness of Charlize Theron to make her look or try to make her look sympathetic. Like, she needed Janice Dickinson. Like, she needed somebody who was just, I cannot stand her. I cannot stand that she has parlayed her mediocreness into millions of dollars and that people are still talking to her or about her. Yes, of course, Santa Claus is white. Fuck you.
Right.
Okay. That's my thoughts now.
She also posted a meme or reposted a meme of the pistol-toting queen. So I'm like, what that supposed to mean? What's she doing with that gun? I don't understand what you're trying to say or what you're trying to suggest or imply. But yeah, she's out here being disgusting as well, because that's what she does best, inflammatory and disgusting. Yeah, I know. she is the ilk that we expected to respond this way. Right.
Well, and also she tried to give interview tips to Oprah. Like, she tried to critique Oprah's interviewing skills. Bitch, you could never.
You could never. You have never. And you
will never. You will because never. You are mediocre on your best day.
Yeah, at best. Can we line up your resumes next to each other? I mean, we're not even going to go to your bank books, but can we just line up your resumes next to each other? Who are you? You know, it's like that meme that says, don't ever take constructive criticism from someone who's never constructed anything.
Hello.
You've never constructed anything.
Hello.
So
I mean, in a room with her and Oprah, like raise your hand if you had to fillet someone to get a job and keep your job. Okay?
Right.
No? You okay. Raise your hand if you had to fillet Roger Ailes. Ew. News. Right. Somebody for a job. Let it be some reputable shit.
Dream bigger.
Dream more audaciously.
Yes. Dream audaciously. Yeah. Okay. And that royal response that was a total of 4 sentences. What'd you think about that response to me?
She used my government name.
Yes.
She was trife. Okay. So when you're guilty of the things, I will applaud them for not trying to be like too many words to say we're guilty and we're just trying to, but golly, like that was not even tepid. That was not even like, that was words. It was what?
Okay, so let me tell you from the POV of a crisis communicator.
Tell us, Nessa.
They had a conference room table and they had somebody from all the different departments within the firm sitting around that table. And the communications people said, okay, these are the points we need to hit. We need to come off as sympathetic. We need to not admit any guilt. And at the same time, we need to be concise. And we need to get this out as soon as possible, but not too fast, so that it doesn't seem like we had this shit ready and waiting.
Right. Or that we're being reactionary. Like
exactly.
we had a moment to think about this. It saddens us to know that some of these allegations, these feelings existed and were allowed to fester.
Yeah. So a communications person wrote a first draft and it had about 3 paragraphs in it. They took it back and somebody was like, no.
Too much.
Not saying that. How about we say this? And then somebody else was like, HR was like, oh, we can't say that because that admits some kind of culpability. That's a liability. It should take out that sentence. And they ended up with those 4 sentences that said basically nothing. But they did respond, and it is what it is.
I found it very interesting that the headline the next day was that the royal family was in crisis.
Yeah.
It hadn't even aired in Britain yet, which, first of all, why the delay? Because everybody in Britain saw it. They were streaming on Got It.
Right.
In crisis.
Yeah.
And that's what you came up with. You were in crisis.
That the narrative that Piers Morgan, but I know I need to talk about him so much, but right now he's on the top of my don't fuck with list.
That the vague, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, Harry and Meghan could have been much less vague about things. They could have been like, this bitch said this. Remember that cousin that came with that brooch that was highly offensive? That bitch said this, and da da da. They could have done all that.
Been accusatory. Instead, they were telling their experience when they could have been accusatory.
But in crisis, I was like, in crisis? Yeah. They barely scratched the surface of, let me think, they brought out things that we kind of sort of knew. Like there were 2 headlines, one that she was suicidal and one that somebody asked about the skin tone of her child. But even that, as far as Black America was like, well, of course they did. Like,
right, exactly.
But nothing else that came out was like, word? Oh my God. Everybody was like, yeah.
Everybody was like, oh,
yeah,
that's fucked up. But yeah, they said that shit.
I knew that shit. I knew it. We knew. If I had $1 for every time in my Twitter feed, we been knew was the response, I'm like, yeah, we been knew that. Welcome.
Yeah. They bad press close to the crown could mean people won't need the crown anymore. And do they need them now though?
I was gonna say already.
Yeah. But it will make people. But you know what? Even at DJ React, there are so many Americans who look to the royal family as, a fantasy world, a dream world. There are girls who, I mean, we don't have princesses over here. We never have, and all the girls all want to grow up to be princesses. And where do we find princesses? Where's the nearest place, the place we know about that we connect with the most,
right?
Place in which we remain, is right. They sure did. But so I think there are a lot of people in America who cling to the monarchy as well. So like we said, it's an idealistic representation of what is good and right and familial closeness, and it's all fallacy, but I think there are a lot of people who cling to that. Yeah, a lot of people who cling to that. You can talk about Camilla Gate.
Listen, I know I promised low production, but I had to go find the transcript. They have released transcripts. Okay, so let's go back, because DJ React, I know you know the whole Camilla situation. And for those of you that watch Crown, we got a taste. But long story short, Charles was in love with this woman before the whole Diana thing even popped off. And this woman was already seeing someone else when that happened, like been seeing someone else, married that someone else, and he's running after her ass. You talk about some pee that must have been super good, because he couldn't let it go, never let it go. So some transcripts have been released of a phone call. And before I tell you about the transcript, there is some group, Meet Us After 7 on Twitter. Mm-hmm. It's a group of Black DJs, I think, and they sat around and read these transcripts.
They did.
I tell you, I hollered, I mean, cackled. But okay, some highlights of the transcripts. Let me see if I can get them up. Only because we're doing good on time.
Okay.
All right, can you guys see that?
Yes, we can. I mean,
okay. Is it small?
It's a little small. If you can.
Let me see if I can make it bigger.
If not, we're not going to trip, because you're going to read.
Yeah, because I'm going to read. Okay. I don't know if that helped at all, but anyway.
Not really.
Anyway, that's the sort of thing one has to be aware of and sort of feel one's way along with, if you know what I mean, Charles says. Camilla, you're awfully good at feeling your way along. Charles, oh, stop. I want to feel my way along you, all over you and up and down you and in and out. Oh, Camilla says. Charles, particularly in and out. Camilla, oh, that's just what I need at the moment. Charles, is it? Camilla, I know it would revive me. I can't bear a Sunday night without you. Charles, oh God. Camilla, it's like that program, Start the Week. I can't start the week without you. Charles, I'll fill up your tank. Camilla, yes, you do. Charles, then you can cope. Camilla, then I'm all right. Charles, what about me? The trouble is I need you several times a week. Camilla, so do I. I need you all the time. Charles, oh God. I'll just live inside your trousers or something. It would be much easier. Camilla, I don't know why trousers make that funnier, but Camilla, what are you going to turn into? A pair of knickers? Charles, or God forbid, a Tampax. Just my luck. Ew! What the fuck? Camilla, you are a complete idiot. Oh, what a wonderful idea. Charles, my luck to be chucked down the lavatory and go on and on forever, swirling around the top, never going down. Camilla, oh, darling.
I burn for you.
I burn for you. What in the fuck? And it just goes on and on. And
oh, that was perfect. Applause. I need to see some applause emojis for that narration. That was beautiful. I need to put your applause in the comments, because that narration was award worthy. That shit was Thank you for that.
It was just breathtaking. And to think that these are the people who had questions about Meghan. This was happening while he was married. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I trained at the British Royal Academy.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Over here worried about the color of people's babies. Whew. Okay.
And have y'all seen Camilla lately? Like y'all
have you seen Camilla before? Shit.
Facts. The meme of the people who might have asked and how they look was great.
Yes.
Like, and Camilla was one of them. Prince Philip was one. But I mean, these people, and then this is just not the best look. And then you're not taking your son's phone calls. Like, you are trash, sir. Truly trash. Truly trash. And then you go out and go visit some Black hospitals, some Black patients.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And then you release that the reason there was a Black choir at the wedding of Harry and Meghan was because you asked them to come. You know what you sound like?
I have Black friends.
I have Black friends.
Yeah.
But I have Black friends. I know the Black choir.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm glad the Black choir was there.
For sure.
But isn't it always a Black choir? I mean, not necessarily in Britain, but anytime I smell blackness, get a Black choir. I mean, it's just always a Black choir. So is that the thing you want to hang your anti-racism on? I don't know. Yeah, I listen to Black music.
Facts.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, they mentioned the choir. Charles mentioned the choir.
Yeah.
Hey, Diva.
Yes. And then they immediately went out, like you said, to try to be seen with Black people, get photographed around Black folks.
Stop it.
You knew most of the choir members. Stop it, DJ React. Wow.
And then William's response, we are very much not racist.
Yes.
I feel like when you're not racist, you don't have to say you're not. And you also don't have to qualify that shit with we are very much not racist.
Right. Because that's the most British sounding shit ever. Okay. So now can we talk about Piers Morgan?
Now we can talk about Piers Morgan's trash ass.
Oh,
cool. DJ Reacts. They're from the choir was from her church. Her cousin was there. The soloist is Spam. Hey, that's really cool.
Right.
Nice.
So your boy Piers, who has a long history
of being a fuck boy,
of being a complete fuck boy, BOI, is out here fuck boying, completely losing his shit over the.
I'm trying to close my Twitter feed and I just came across a picture of Charles on a tampon and I have to share it now.
Oh, I don't know if I'm ready. Okay. All right.
I'm sorry. I
go ahead.
And then we can talk about trash.
Share
I'm going to close my Twitter feed so that this doesn't happen again.
Okay. Well, I'm going to talk about that. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Oh God.
Okay.
That's enough.
I'm closing Twitter.
Okay. Anyway, so he's out here disparaging Meghan because that's what he does for a living. And let's just take it back a little bit because this week the world was reintroduced to the main reason that he likes to disparage Meghan. And that was in the form of a video that came out of him on a talk show explaining how basically he met with Meghan. It wasn't a date, but it was a date. And they were hanging out all night. They had fun, great conversation. And he got in a cab together. She got dropped off at a party where she met Harry And then she never talked to him again. And he ghosted her. He said the words, she ghosted me. And
no,
she did. That's the thing.
Stop returning your phone calls because you were whack. We went out once. It was whack. It was your fault.
Once, dude. Calm the fuck down. I don't know what you thought was going to happen. But anyway, so yes, he is trash and a sexist, egotistical, lying, hypocritical bigot. All of those things. Yes.
All of that.
So he was just, first of all, he was making false statements in the interview that preceded his tantrum, where he said that, and calling out other people for making false statements. He said the two main claims that Meghan made in the interview were that someone questioned the color of the baby's skin, and that Archie was denied a title and security because he was Black, which she did not say. Okay. She said he was denied these things. They questioned why these things were being denied when their protocol, and that she asked, do you think that maybe those things could be because of this? And she says, she was like, I mean, that's a conclusion you can come to. Yeah. So he is misrepresenting what she said, which is not surprising. And going off about how she's just a liar. She was wrong. The Crown.
It was disgusting what she said about the Queen.
Yeah, it was date adjacent. Agreed. Yeah, exactly. We can read between the lines. She didn't say it. So he's going on and on about how she was wrong and how she's, he was doing the whole thing. It's just her, and Harry didn't say it. And she's hearsay about what happened with the kids. It was not hearsay because they're sitting together there at the interview. She said it, and Harry confirmed that it said. He just wouldn't tell who said it. So he's really mischaracterizing the whole thing because he doesn't like Meghan. And two people on his show have called him out in as many days, and his whiteness is starting to boil within him, and it's starting to give him power. His tears are getting super salty. So, I'm white. Yes. You listen to me. So we'll start with the interview in which he walked off, where he began saying to his colleague, whose name I'm going to mess up, but it's Alex Beresford. I know I'm mispronouncing his last name. I apologize.
Help us out, DJ React. How do you say his name?
Yes, but he's a biracial co-host of the Good Morning Britain. And they had like a 15-minute conversation about this interview, in which their other co-hosts tried desperately to de-escalate.
The lady was like, she went to two hands on the desk. Like,
she tried desperately to de-escalate. But you could see Pierce's privilege coming out when he started the interview with like talking to Alex, who is a biracial co-host. No, I did not.
No, I did not see that.
He said to him, you're on the show. I wanted you on here, and that's why I invited you. So basically, you're here at my behest. So be glad you get to speak. Right? To which Alex was like, yes, thank you for having me, blah, 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 blah.
But also that was bullshit.
Right. And that was the moment I knew the rest of everything was gonna be some bullshit, right? So he goes on to say, well, the all that date told me was that she's a person who likes to cut people off, and it speaks to her character. So now he's claiming that because she didn't want to date him after that date adjacent moment, that she has a history of cutting people off, and she's cut off everyone in her family except her mother. And that date spoke to, it was a red flag. It was an indicator of her personality. And again, all bullshit. Beresford, okay, got it. Thank you. Yeah. So anyway, they went back and forth, and Alex was trying his best. He was doing a whole Cheryl Underwood, which we'll talk about in a minute, to just not be angry, to state points as clearly as possible. But you could see when he started to lose his composure as well, because he's like, you can't say you know, you're talking about facts, but Piers went into the whole, well, what if they weren't asking, you know, in that way? What if they were just asking about his skin color? Because they were just curious. Anytime you have a Black person married to a white person, you might be curious about what their skin color. I mean, are you curious, or do you just pretty much know what it's going to be? You know it ain't going to be white. You know it ain't going to be all that. You know it's going to be. That's not a question you can ask. I don't care how you ask it. I don't care how sweetly it's asked. I don't care who's asking it. That's not a question you can ask, because inherent is in the question is concern. Inherent in the question is a whole othering, othering of this person.
Mm-hmm.
So no, there is no innocent way you can ask this, even though Alex did say, yes, I guess there's an innocent way, at which point I wanted to kind of slap Alex. Anyway, right. The conversation went on, and it got increasingly more hostile until Alex lost his temper. And he was basically like, look, and I would say he lost the rein on his composure. He didn't really lose his temper. He lost the rein on his composure. And he said, look, we understand that you don't like Meghan Markle. You've been saying it forever. You've been saying it for years. We know it. The whole world knows it. And we know it has something to do with the relationship that you've had with her. Yeah. Yes. Well, we know you know her. And we know that when you guys stopped communicating, she hasn't said anything else about you. But you keep talking about her. And that is where Piers lost his shit. I don't have to take this. Got his ass up.
You know what? I'm tired of this.
I'm tired of this. Nope. Then when everybody tried to say anything, nope. But you know what? He did the whole nope, you don't want to hear it and walk off. At which point Alex took the moment to say, you know what? Good. I'm gonna keep on talking because this is
good. He's gone. Cool.
Yeah, he's good. Okay, so I'm gonna keep on talking. He's having a tantrum. He's acting like an imbecile. He's doing. This is well white boy shit. He didn't say that, but that was
right. But that was the subtext.
That was the implication, right? So Piers left his show, and then how
was it that he was tired?
Yes.
We're gonna talk about that in a minute. How victims be victimized, so tired of being victimized by this whole thing.
So you know, he resigned from his show. Did you hear there was a petition? There's a petition to get him back. They lost 300,000 viewers when he left.
That's what he wanted, though. That's what he wanted. He wants to feel loved. Mm-hmm. He wants to know that he wants Good Morning Britain and the rest of the world to know that he has a following and that without me, you are nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
CNN survived you. Good Morning Britain would survive you too.
It sure will. And he does have a following. He does have lots of supporters. And those include the Bat Eater's wife, because she has so few claims to fame, Sharon Osbourne. Or as you have here, Karen Sharon Osbourne.
You know, the thing with her, and I don't watch The Talk.
Oh, no.
Because I don't watch The View. Because a table full of manufactured different views is not my idea of a good time.
Yeah.
And
many of them have to be adjusted. Opinions have to be adjusted.
Well, and the opinions that have to be adjusted are the Black people's opinions.
Who are not the show headers, the show leaders.
And so on The Talk, they've been through several Black people, right?
Iterations of diversity.
Yes. And Holly Robinson Pete came up and was like, yeah, Sharon Osbourne said I was ghetto and I got fired.
Yep.
Ghetto. And if y'all haven't read Lovey's new book, she talks about being too something and how that's basically the equivalent of somebody telling you be less. We already talked about the whole be less thing, but okay. But Eve, who else? Amanda Seales. I think they tried it with her, which if you thought Holly Robinson Pete was too ghetto,
Amanda Seales was on.
That's the real different show. Too many shows, too many 2-word shows. But Holly Robinson Pete being too ghetto was like
hilarious.
Holly Robinson, 21 Jump Street, Hollywood Robinson.
Right.
Holly Robinson. Look, I didn't made her ghetto too, Hollywood Robinson. So
oh yeah, I Tyler, yeah.
I'm not a fan of Cheryl Underwood, right? Like I'm not a fan of her comedy. You know, she's like too much. Sorry, but too much for me. Mm-hmm. But when I saw that Sharon Osbourne was standing up for her friend Piers Morgan, I was like, oh, I wonder how that's going to go over on the show.
So Elaine Welteroth is on the show now too.
I was coming to her.
Okay.
God bless both Cheryl and Elaine Welteroth, because when you watch the clip where Sharon Osbourne looks like a cornered, rabid dog, and she is just screaming at everybody and screaming at everybody. And then she says,
you know what that reminded me of?
What?
Because they were not cornering her. No one was cornering her. Cheryl was trying to give her an opportunity to speak her piece and to set the record straight. It reminded me of that scene in A Color Purple.
Yes.
Where
Miss Lucy, whoever it was. I know.
She was going to drive herself home, but she couldn't. She got flustered. She thought the people were coming and attacking her.
Miss Millie, yes.
Miss Millie. She thought the people were coming and attacking her when they were just trying to help her. It was the scene in The Color Purple. It was. It was just like, I saw it like picture in picture.
Absolutely. And that's why I said she behaved like she was a cornered rabid dog, because no one, in fact, Cheryl was taking so much. It took so much for her to stay calm that she was about to cry.
Yes.
At which time this bitch, Sharon Osbourne, did the ultimate white lady fuck shit by telling her, don't you try to cry.
And she said, don't you
cry. Don't you even cry.
When I tell you, that's when I'd have lost my job. That's when I'd have proved all of their
tropes.
I'd have proved them. I'd have represented every trope.
She's here now. Angry Black woman is here now.
Right. My eyes go back in my head. My neck is
listen, bitch. No, you didn't.
Right.
And Elaine Welteroth, so she had her, and she was like, oh.
Yeah, her face. Elaine said, because Elaine has just been on the show like 5 minutes.
Hot second.
Right. So Elaine is like, oh, am I going to lose my job today? You can see her looking around like, is this it?
Cheryl was like, you're gonna what? You're gonna what? And she was like, we're gonna go to commercial. Yeah. Right.
And apparently, and you can hear her saying something fuck as the commercial. And then she apparently berated her throughout the commercial break, because she admitted to as much when they came back. And she said, I've been asking you throughout the whole conversation, so I'll ask you again. And Cheryl is deliberately not looking at her, because I think if Cheryl had looked at her full on the whole time,
she was going to be across that fucking room in her chair with her.
Yep, Cheryl might have pulled off her wig, as she's known to do. Okay.
So
now you don't need to watch the show. Nobody's watched this since last year. Just pull up that clip.
Just pull up the clip. Mm-hmm. And be enraged at the behavior, because it was just like,
and as she's crying, Grand Dame, she says, and don't you even try to cry. If anybody should be crying, I'm the one who should be crying. Role reversal. We're going to flip the script, because I am the victim in this situation.
I am the one being called a racist, which,
no one did.
Again.
Well, no one in that studio did. Everybody
also, I need for white women and white people in general, but white women especially, to stop acting like being called a racist is worse than being one.
Right.
The insinuation. 9 times out of 10, we haven't even said that. We're just questioning what you did or what you said or whatever. And you're calling me a race. Look, I never even said that. But since we're on the topic and you're about to tell me that you got 2 Black friends, or you're married to a Black man, or you're whatever, like all of the things that you're about to say next. Yes, Diva, the caucasity. Absolute
caucasity. With this statement she made that I still don't understand. Okay. Maybe you can translate. I don't know. She said, how can I be racist to anybody? I've been alive for 68 years, and now to have to come back and say I'm not racist, how could I possibly be racist to anybody? I don't understand. I don't
understand that question.
What's underneath that question? How could you, what precludes
what does that have to do with anything?
Right. What precludes you from the possibility of being racist? I don't understand.
Did your ancestry.com thing come back and you're 51% Black? I don't understand.
I don't understand. Yeah. Because you've been alive for 68 years. I don't understand that statement at all.
Well, and part of it too is because I see this living on the West Coast. I've seen it living in the Northeast. People think racism looks a certain way. Mm-hmm. And so British people, foreigners, not just British people, foreigners, people who are not born here, think that racism looks like white sheets and Confederate flags. And it's the same thing in the Northeast.
Or that racism has to be saying the N-word.
Yes. And don't take into account all of the ways that racism operates and pervades and seeps through and all that sort of thing. So
it's systemic, something we've been saying forever.
Yes. And so some of that question, some of the things that she said reeks of that. Like you think it looks a certain way and you think that you are not it.
Right.
And all we're asking is why you were so quick to be like, Piers was right. Mm-hmm. He should, the things that he said, what did he say that was so wrong? Well, let's talk about it. Well, no, now we can't talk about it because, you asking me why I support Piers Morgan, you're clearly calling me a racist. Like,
right.
You are projecting right now. Like right. You clearly have this thought about him and you're, friends with him anyway. And now when someone questions you, it's got to be, child.
And you can't be questioned. You are beyond question.
You are a white woman in America, even though you are by way of Great Britain.
Which makes you even whiter.
Right. And so how dare a Black woman question you?
Yes. And she approached it. She broached the question with such gentleness. She eased into it. She started with, I don't believe that you are this way at all. But let me ask you, basically giving her an opportunity to say, yeah, I know I made this tweet in support of Piers without addressing the fact that bullying and racism are wrong. She was giving her the opportunity. And she approached her so gently and then redoubled that effort in saying, right now what's happening is I'm talking to someone who I think of as a friend and asking her about a perception and a reaction. I'm not at all. I don't want people to watch this and think that we're attacking you for being racist. Well, that ship has sailed. No, she said that seed's been sown.
Yeah.
She was so dismissive. Yes, same time, DJ React. She was so dismissive of her personhood, not just her statements, but of her personhood, that's what would have gotten her fucked up on camera.
For real. These hands, right? These hands right here.
And the strength of all of Black America's hands behind them.
Again, the headline would have read differently. Mm-hmm. The headline would have read completely differently. The talk host assaults fellow host.
Right. And when Sharon came out with her apology, I'd have had to come out with a tandem apology for being on camera.
My apology would have been like, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry.
This shit was recorded. That would have been my apology.
I'm sorry that we did not have the foresight to have this conversation privately.
Right.
I'm writing this letter from a Birmingham jail.
Right. When having someone fucked up gets you fucked up. I have to tap on that.
That might be a new segment.
Yes. That might be some merch.
Having someone fucked up gets you fucked up.
Get you fucked up. That part. All right, we got to keep going. But we're doing okay.
We are. So, her apology was bullshit. We're not even gonna talk about this. It was a what do they call it? iPhone
I don't
press
know.
Release, iOS press release.
I think it was made to look like an iOS press release, but somebody gave her bullet points from which to start. She didn't come up with that on her own.
At any rate, it was bullshit. It was basically the equivalent of, I'm sorry if your feelings were hurt.
Put that comment on the screen, the last one.
This one?
Yes.
That.
That
Yes.
one.
Yes. Yes. And GoFundMe is
Right.
we know my bail would be high. The way I look, bail would be high.
Okay. See, she need to come on set next week just with the lawyer's name written in Sharpie on her arm.
Yes, yes. When it goes bad. So Jake Tapper, he towed the line. I mean, he didn't go so far as Sharon Osbourne, but he, white's gonna white. I mean, he came out and was like, I disagree with the criticism, First Amendment and all this bullshit. Like, first of all, they're in Britain, so fuck a First Amendment. Right. Do that shit. That does not apply over there. But he again, like, white people love coming out with the slippery slope argument when it's kind of like, well, it could be me. It wouldn't be you. You haven't been over here your whole being, your whole like modus operandi is, be media, to report facts, to report such and such. So it wouldn't be you. You don't have to worry about being run off your set because you continue to trash a person that you think fucked you over. And, that's not you. And
he can
his behavior is deplorable and still be a card-carrying member of the press. His behavior was deplorable. Just say that shit.
Right.
It just was.
Absolutely. It was.
You can still go have beers later because we know you will. But your shit, was fucked up, and you walked off that set. Good Morning, Britain
was not fired. Yeah.
You walked off that set.
Absolutely. You were trying to make a point. You were having a tantrum, and Pierce is unable to see his unconscious bias. And it's not just a racist bias; it's absolutely there, but also his sexist bias because he felt jilted by someone who he thought should have fawned over him. So, you as a journalist, you have to be able to identify possible biases and therefore avoid them. But
real journalism is kind of one of these bygone.
It is
because everybody has a mic.
Yes,
I'm not a journalist. I don't want anybody here to think that I'm reporting. I'm giving opinions on what has already happened, on what other people have done. I'm not trying to get a job at Faux News or OAN or none of that shit. Like, that's not. I'm just here to talk about it. That's it.
And I've been a journalist, as you know, and it is often soul crushing.
Yeah,
to not be able to say this is some racist bullshit. When you just got him.
I mean, to just get your coattail pulled and be like, bro, that was, didn't have to be all that, like, but whatever. So anyway, that was Jake Tapper. I was disappointed, but every once in a while, Jake Tapper does some shit that disappoints me. So let's talk about Stacey Dash, y'all.
If we must. And we must right now.
Dash wants to come home.
He wants so bad to be invited back to the cookout.
But if you're feeling lonely, if you need a laugh and a good cry, please go to Twitter and just search Stacey Dash. Just keep reading, just keep scrolling and keep laughing your ass off. Black Twitter is undefeated. Undefeated.
For the win.
Your girls done said, I was angry.
I was an angry Black woman.
I was angry. And, when you're angry, like, you do things. And I did and said things. And I mean, she kind of hit us with I don't know if y'all know this, but like, yes, we know.
We know. We know
that you were used as a tool.
Right.
And now that 45 is gone and your paychecks have stopped at Fox News because your boobs are no longer good for business.
Right.
You want to come back and hang with the cool kids.
Right. But did you notice that in doing it, she was very careful. And she said, I'm sorry for some things I said and did. She was very vague. And at the end, she said, there's something about being a Trump supporter. I didn't mean to say his name. Something about being his supporter. She says, but he's not president anymore, and I'm willing to give the new president a chance. Yeah, no thanks.
Except that you went to great trouble to drag the Black community.
And she still did not denounce anything that 45 did. She was just saying he ain't president no more, so I ain't got a job no more. So
yeah, Diva, did I lie? Like when I tell you I spent a whole day, I would be doing something. I'm like, let me see what they're saying now. And I would just go and get my 7 chuckles. I mean, laughing from a deep, healthy place, tears, like my rib cage was hurting. Girl, bye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's on video trying to get us to see that she's just a Black woman who was used and misunderstood, who was duped and made some bad choices.
No, because just like Poussey does not cause you to leave your family and do things that you would, neither does, you made some conscious decisions.
Yeah.
It did not find you, dust you off, and give you a platform. You went out in search of that platform. You Absolutely. Came out trying to be a contrarian and, against woke culture and you're awake and the rest of us are sheep and we need to get with the program and transgender people can pee in bushes and all type of bullshit. And now you want to be like, I mean, I said some things, but I was angry. You say some things,
Can I sleep in my own room?
Yeah, you made a damn choice. Get the fuck out of here. Yes, Poussey, bringing that back. And it's just I as soon as I saw it, first of all, I woke up to that and was like, oh shit, here we go. So,
exactly.
Thanks for playing, Stacey.
Stay gone. Stay gone.
Stay gone. Stay gone.
Your boy. Papa. Why Papa can't stop saying the
headline about him?
No.
I can't read the gossip headline?
I thought you said, did I read?
Oh no, let me read the gossip headline. What in the thin crust fuck? Papa John's ex-executive pizza boy and red sauce racist John Schnatter, KK, claims that he's been trying to remove the N-word from vocabulary for 20 months. 20 months.
That's what he said. And this was not a misprint. He said this shit in video.
He said it in video seconds after he said, I don't know why people think I'm racist.
Yes. He said, I've been trying to stop saying the N-word for 20 months.
You know how when you go on a work site, they're like, number of workplace accidents in however many days, like 0.
Yeah.
Or, I imagine him being like, 1 day since I've said the N-word, and then something happens and he's like, fuck, 0 days since I've said the N-word.
I mean, I could literally give birth to 2 human beings in that long.
That's the same thing I said. You can have 2 babies.
You can't stop saying the N-word in that time. I could learn German in that time.
Fluent German.
Fluent German.
You couldn't stop 20 months. So okay. All right. You counted. That was my first thing. I was like, you counted. Like, the number of months.
The number because he got the right at home.
You counted.
Because somebody in his house is like, put $1 in the end jar.
20 months. A habit is created in 21 days.
Okay.
20 months.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. He needed in half. Yes, Meta. He needed in half.
I haven't said it once today.
You haven't.
Let me put the 1 on my window. One episode since I haven't said the N-word.
Oh my gosh.
Bruh.
Yeah, he needs something because he can't put it home.
He needs to reach out to your boy in Oklahoma. I don't know if y'all saw this story. Basketball teams.
No, stop right there. He doesn't need to reach out to the boy because the other boy got a medical condition.
Well, see, you spoiled it. So basketball teams about to play. It's that time of the year where it's state championships and things like that. And during the national anthem, the team that was more melanated took a knee.
Norman, I think, was the name of the school or something.
Yeah, Norman High School. Took a knee. So the announcers, this is high school. So it's no fancy booth, none of that. The announcer's like, look at them taking a knee, and he goes on this diatribe, and he said the N-word more than once. We could hear it. We could hear it clearly the last time he said it. He's like, I hope they get their asses whipped out here kneeling. And he was going off. And then at the end, he was like, fucking N-words. Mm-hmm. Clear as day. Mm-hmm. Bro, I need everybody.
It's not like the other one on there was going, say that.
The other one was like, I need everybody to get some mute discipline in their lives.
Look. Yes,
mute discipline. Behave as though your mic is fucking hot. Just behave that way. Like, don't say anything in your house. If your computer is open, make sure your camera is covered up. Make sure Zoom didn't actually just start. But definitely, if you're sitting at the scorer's table calling the game, you should make sure that your mic is off before you go into your antics.
Yes.
And then you also should not blame the fact that you have these thoughts on being a type 1 diabetic. Okay. That's what got me meme on. I have heard it all. My blood sugar has been low before, and it has made me irritable as fuck. Mm-hmm. What it hasn't made me do is just start calling people racist slurs. That's what hasn't happened. Right. What is the drug for that? What pharmacist commercial should we be looking for?
Yeah. Let me see. I don't know if it came through, but I just sent the link.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I think it's going to come only to the YouTube.
Yeah. Okay.
But yes, if you want to see Coach F. Parks, just Google it. I mean, it's crazy. Yes, Meta for the win. Do you take insulin? That's what's up. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, but he sent a whole thing about, I have type 1 diabetes, and sometimes it causes me to what did he say? Be angry.
Speak out of my head.
Yeah.
That's some bullshit. Like, okay, bro.
I didn't know those were some of the side effects of your sugar being off.
They should say that on the commercials. Might cause you to be a racist.
Right. You heard that's true. Low blood sugar causes racism, lower back pain leads to homophobia, and the big Texas involved.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to highlight that one.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Okay. Let's see.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead, babe.
The CPAC. I just quickly to say that they apparently had a contest among some young female conservatives of who was going to sing the national anthem, and someone won that contest and got to sing the national anthem. I wasn't up on this. My son put me up on game. Google that shit. It was abominable. Mm-hmm. It is exactly the national anthem that CPAC deserves.
Yeah.
And get your 7 chuckles. I mean, I just don't know another way to say it. It was just terrible. It started off where it was kind of like, okay, I mean, you're an amateur. You don't have a record contract. You just singing the national anthem. And then it goes like, you're listening. I'm going to go through the facial expressions. You're listening.
Yeah.
And then it's over.
But Jasmine Sullivan needed to do a duet. But anyway.
But thank you for taking it over at the end. Yeah. She was like, okay, fuck all this.
Right.
Just go ahead and do my shit. Do my thing.
Okay. Please tell me, while they out here trying it, please tell me y'all saw the Georgetown professor who teaches
yes,
negotiation.
Yes. Confidently in every wrong key.
Yes. All of them. Just exploring, trying to find the one that works for her.
Right.
So a Georgetown law professor who teaches negotiations was on a recorded Zoom call. She was having a conversation with another professor. It was another professor.
Mm-hmm.
When she got to talking about low marks that students are receiving on some particular part of her program. And she says, and then when I see it, and I hate to say it, and when they say,
I hate to say it, they about to say some
racist ass shit is to follow from the I hate to say it, because you don't hate to say it. But if
you hated to say it, you wouldn't say that shit.
You wouldn't hate to say it. I would love to hear somebody say, I love to say it, because I'd be like, you know what? I respect that. I respect you telling us that you love to say that.
With your chest.
All the way. She said, I hate to say it, but she starts off talking about the marks were the submissions were jumbled, and the marks
jumbled.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so I hate to say it, but it's usually the blacks. I mean, she said it like all her mouth.
The blacks.
With the whole mouth. It's usually the blacks. I mean, like it resonated.
You're like blacks.
Exactly. And you can see the other professors kind of like, what you call me? Is my phone ringing? So she goes on to say, you just really gives me anxiety. It gives you anxiety. Yeah.
Come on, there's got to be some better ones.
Yes. So I don't know if you saw the second part of the clip where the other professor is like, when things like that happen, I kind of try to sometimes check my implicit bias. He was basically trying to say,
yes, so salty.
That's how she said it. That's exactly how she said it.
Yes.
Yeah, but he was like, sometimes when that happens, he was a more meek man. Sometimes when that happens, I try to just check my implicit bias, and I don't know, what he should have had the balls to just say, you can't say that.
The shit is being recorded. Yeah. For those of you that have never been on a Zoom call, you can see that it's being recorded because right at the top it says recording.
Yes. And pro tip for those of you who don't know, when somebody is recording and you do those private messages to someone in the Zoom chat, it comes down to the in the transcript as well. The private messages render into the transcript. So nothing is private. If you didn't know that already, I'm sure you knew that, but nothing is private.
You're welcome. Stop. Send people a text. Do not use the chat function to talk shit about the presenters or anybody in the class or any of that.
Right. I mean, and honestly, if you're doing a Zoom call and you don't have your phone here subtexting someone else, then why are you doing Live 1.0? Because I'm on 2.0.
Yes. Nothing is private on Zoom if it's being recorded.
Yes. Oh, Lord. A whole school board in the Bay had to step down when they were streaming a meeting and started saying racist shits.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, and trust me when I say that chat is recorded, even the private messages, because just trust me.
Trust me.
From firsthand experience, trust me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, out here being dumb and racist.
An adjunct professor. They're calling for her to be fired.
Yeah. Oh, she's already gone. I think she's already gone.
Okay, cool. Because I was about to say, and I don't know what's taking so long. Because if you are in charge of people's grades, you cannot be out here talking about how low the blacks are.
They're jumbled
when they come to your class, and already you sound like that's your expectation.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, everyone who has ever taken a class with this woman needs to have their shit re-audited, or it should be like pass fail or something. Because wow, Georgetown.
Yeah, I see some people who just got caught off guard by the private chat thing. But yes, it's recorded, but it's also rendered into a written transcript that comes along with the recording when you download it. So if somebody doesn't go back and watch the video, they don't have to. They can pull out a piece of paper and see your comment.
Yeah, it downloads 3 things. It downloads the video and audio together, the audio and the chat.
Yes.
All of the chat.
All of the chat.
All of it. All of the chat.
We're going to say it like the professor. Ow, 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 in the chat.
So if you got friends that are kind of treating you shady right now and you know you've been in a chat talking shit about them, could be that.
Right.
Could be that. The answer is you be the person recording the chat.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That part.
Blacks. Nothing but them blacks.
Okay. DJ React said, Lord, thank you.
We are here to edutain you.
That part. Okay. So there is a Kroger pharmacy clinic in Virginia. I can't remember the town, but it was in Virginia, who was out here blowing people up. And I say that because several people who went there to get their COVID vaccines were given air, like O2, like air, rather than the COVID vaccine. What happened apparently, and I would love to get your lab take on this, Nikki, because apparently the person who was administering the vaccines thought that her counterpart had pre-filled them. They kind of had a routine of pre-filling and then, then setting them down for the counterpart to actually give the shot. And so Colby was like, yeah, but don't you have to prime the shot and everything? And then wouldn't you see that there's no liquid in there? And I said, well, I think that the person who was doing the pre-filling was doing pre-priming and just lining them up. And please, let's talk about a little bit of protocol. What do you think?
First of all, injecting air is dangerous because if you actually, I know it's an intramuscular injection,
right?
But if you hit a vein or an artery and you put air in there, somebody could die. So let's just start off top right there. But okay.
Yeah.
I don't care who loaded it for you. You are supposed to check and make sure that there's something in there. Right. So when I first saw the story, I thought they were injecting placebo, like they were injecting water or some shit. And I'm like, wow, you're just holding your own clinical trials without without IRB approval. But okay. But yes, you pick the syringe up. First of all, a loaded syringe has weight.
So you're not anytime you've been doing this, you just been like,
yeah,
you're not noticing. Yeah,
okay. It has weight, and you pick it up, and you're gonna see it because you're not doing this,
right? Right. As you're injecting, are you not looking? Oh,
so and they're sitting on a kind of a platter like this. So what are you doing with the empties?
Virginia, a Kroger pharmacy in Virginia.
I'm just so done with these people who are making decisions on behalf of others that you're just not going to do it. You're just not, like you don't have to say you are giving out the vaccine. If you run a pharmacy and you like, fuck that, I don't subscribe to the vaccine, then don't take the money and don't take the vaccine and be done with it. Like we don't do that shit here. Here we believe in getting immunity the old-fashioned way. So and go about your business.
Which we don't have time to talk about. You know those bitches who coughed on the Uber driver? Okay, we'll come back to it because I don't know if we have time.
So hard just now that my earring back came off.
Oh no! Okay, y'all remind us at the end if we have time left to talk about the Uber driver and the girls who coughed on him.
Okay, but yeah, no, that's not okay.
Yeah. So apparently they called all the people back who got air. I don't know how they realized, oh, you know what? I haven't been given, but they called all the people back who got air. I will say I got a real vaccine. I got my first shot. I know that shit was real because I couldn't lift my arm for 24 hours. My shit was real. But yeah, anyway. But I know a whole lot of people who need the vaccine, and it's pretty much everyone who was in Atlanta over the past week. Y'all, they out here wilding. They
were shooting dice in a 5-star hotel lobby.
They said rooms were going for $1,300 a night in that hotel. And there was a cadre of us standing in the lobby shooting dice. There's video. There's a video of it.
Dice
game. All-Star Weekend, in case y'all don't know. That's what was happening in Atlanta.
I feel like Ashley Larry was there. Remember the tournament of dice? That was the skit on Dave Chappelle. Like, yes. Did somebody come in and tell everybody to get butt naked at the end?
Yep. All-Star Weekend brought the maskless throngs to the city. You wanted to go so bad and act a fool. Well, had you come, you'd have been acting a fool, because folks was getting shot on 85 in Gwinnett.
They were ghost riding the whips, jumping out and dancing and getting practically run over. I mean,
it was some Freaknik, but 2021. Yeah, I mean, it was a super spreader event for sure. All the concerts, folks driving the boat. A lot of people were killed. Y'all know what driving the boat is, right? Do you know what driving the boat is, Mickey?
Who's driving the boat?
Driving the boat. See, because I'm up. He's like, hello, fellow children. Hello, fellow teenagers. Let me tell you what driving the boat is. And that is where, and it's strange because the person who's driving the boat is the one receiving, but whatever. When somebody takes a bottle of liquor and they pour it into your mouth like this, that's called driving the boat. Yeah, see, we old, but the young people, that's what they do. If you Google it, I'm sure you'll see it. Driving the boat. But you're the one receiving it is the one driving the boat. It doesn't make sense logically, but that's what they do. But anyway, you out here driving the boat in the age of Corona. It is, yeah, I can only imagine that everybody who left the city took back a little piece of the virus with them. Oh yeah, it's definitely some Gen Z nonsense, like this whole argument over yeet versus yeek on. We're not going. Okay, anyway, focus.
We cannot do that today.
Focus.
Sorry, just found mine. The sun's out.
Yes, ma'am. Oshun is smiling. Yes, it's no. You pour not the shots, but from the whole bottle. Salty. You just pour the bottle, and you pour more than a single shot. You just pour, basically, until the person gags. Yeah, pretty much.
Sounds brilliant.
Yeah, you just Google it, or you know what? Better yet, go to Instagram and search driving the boat, and you'll get all kinds of videos. And you'll
thanks.
Yeah, if you want to, what's the opposite of enrich? You want to do that too.
If you want to be dumber,
right? Okay, so we're doing great. We were supposed to have ended this block at 12 as per our pre-show. So we're doing all right. Yes, that part better. All right. So wait a minute, is our WandaVision person.
Diva, she's here.
Is she here? Okay, good. Diva, before we end, maybe Diva all has electrolytes.
Not as electrolytes.
No, it does not have electrolytes. Okay. Somebody, Diva, please, there you are. Just give me like a one-word response to the WandaVision finale. Write in the comments a one-word response to the WandaVision finale from your opinion before we get into this. I would love to know what you thought. If y'all didn't know, my husband, we were watching it, and my husband was like, series finale? What the fuck? Yes. Right. Series finale, not season finale.
Series. I know. I was like, wait.
That thing is over.
You haven't seen it? What the hell? What? Come on now. That was last week.
Oh,
Jazzy. She said she hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah, I know. Nobody wanted it to end.
No, it was just getting good. She said one word. Okay, so I have a question because I read a recap and everybody was like talking about a cameo that happened, an important cameo. And so, Diva, that's what I need you to talk about, because I was like, wait, what?
What?
Who?
I'm missing?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know.
Oh, maybe I missed it. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, I know that I'm not like the Marvel chick, but I was like, I thought I saw
Right,
everything
and I
that
feel
needs
some
to be
kind of
seen.
way.
Yeah, okay, so it's not just
it ain't us.
cool. No, during the episode, they were like during the finale. So I was like, is it gonna be fucking Winter Soldier or somebody gonna show up? I mean, what? So can we just talk about the memes, the Vision memes, the Vishon memes?
Yes, the Vision memes are everything.
Somebody said, y'all are out here thirsting after a MacBook Pro. And I hollered. And they were like, fucking right, he's a rabbit. And I was like,
not a MacBook Pro.
Yes. So I was reading it out loud, and Hubs was like, a rabbit. I was like, don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it, babe.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's a reference that I get.
He was like, oh, I was like, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's great. Yeah, it was woo eventful.
Yeah, I mean, the last 2 episodes really were like,
yes, I
wow.
know.
Wow.
Yeah, they did so well. The writing, the acting, the visual effects. It was just all.
Yeah, and now that it's over, all of you who haven't watched it, go ahead and watch it. You don't have to be held hostage week to week.
Yeah, binge it. Absolutely, binge that thing. It's worth it.
Get you a piece.
Okay, I like it. Amazing. I'll take that word, Diva. I'll take that word. Yes, absolutely. And it's clear what they're setting up next. I will say the one, it's kind of the line that they use that I'm sure we'll see in the next series, whatever they call it, was when Agatha said, you have, they're setting this up for the movie, but Agatha said, you know who you are. You have even more power than the Sorcerer Supreme. And I was like, okay, make that connection. I see this little segue we got going on here, where they're trying to segue us to the Doctor Strange movie. I like the way they do it. They get your mind thinking about what's next. They get people breaking out those comic books or those anthologies to do a little research before the next movie on the Sorcerer Supreme, because we know where her power, the Sorcerer Supreme, drew from whence the Sorcerer Supreme drew her power. And my son and I were talking about the difference between their powers, where Doctor Strange takes where Doctor Strange draws his power from versus creative or chaos magic. So anyway, it's going to be really interesting.
I'm learning, and now I got to go watch Doctor Strange because I never watched it.
Did I know you didn't watch that? I knew you didn't watch the age. Okay.
You knew that because we talked about it, and I was like, I got enough from the.
Well, you definitely now because you felt the whole WandaVision. You were there for it. So yes, go watch Doctor Strange because you're going to need that for the next movie, right, Diva? Yes, she says yes. Watch it.
Okay. And I got to watch Age of Ultron again so that I can remember it, and then I'll watch. I saw Age of Ultron, but I was unimpressed. But now I know that it's
information you're going to need. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So I'll go back and watch that in Doctor Strange.
Cool. So we got a couple of here. Go see your knobbies. So y'all get ready. Get your fingers ready to let us know. And there are only 2. So the first one is we gave you guys for homework, United States versus Billie Holiday. Did you guys watch it? And if so, go see or nah be. What did y'all think about it? So, Mickey, what did you think?
I liked it. I thought Andra Day bodied that role. I got issues with Lee Daniels. I have issues with male directors, and this was brought up in the Malcolm and Marie.
I knew you were gonna say that.
When she was like, did her tits have to be out? There were parts of US versus Billie Holiday where I felt like it was gratuitous. Like that wasn't fucking necessary. And I want to see, like, so I saw Andra Day win the award first. Then I saw the movie. And it just gave me Monsters Ball vibes. It gave me, we always have to be out showing our tits to get recognition from the Academy and from these awards and all of that sort of thing. And so I was just kind of like, I'm not taking anything away from Halle Berry that year, and I'm not taking anything away from Andra Day. They bodied those roles. But is that what we have to do? Like women who have won this award have done something. Even when Zendaya won her Emmy for Euphoria, like I know that there was some questionable shit going on in Euphoria. Like, why do we have to be away? So I took issue with Lee Daniels, as I usually do in his movies, but his interpretation of how to show women being vulnerable and being like, he did go to great pains to show Billie Holiday as a person and not just a heroin addict and not just, but I was just like, okay, why she got to be naked right here? Why she got to do all this? Like, what is that to the story?
Yeah.
That's just,
so I will say this.
The movie was great.
Absolutely. For me, a go see.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
I feel like if she doesn't get the Academy Award, they don't know what these awards are for.
Mm-hmm.
And I disagree with you on Halle Berry murdering her role in Monsters Ball. I thought, and I love Halle Berry, but I thought she did a mediocre job in that movie. And I was like, really? Angela Bassett didn't get an award, but she gets an award for, sitting on a dick with her boobies out.
Angela Bassett had taken her clothes off.
Exactly. It made me feel good. I was like,
I saw that with my mom.
Yeah. So agree wholeheartedly that some of those shots were gratuitous. I was like, okay, we get it. Absolutely agree with you, Dee, that the part where she got naked when they arrested her was necessary. And I think she should have gotten naked in all the other scenes, but we just didn't have to see her breasts. And that's where the director, that's not in the I guarantee the screenplay doesn't say, and then we see her titties again.
I just felt like it was gratuitously graphic. Like, I get it. You're having sex. You're doing these things. Cool. But God.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think that when they're having sex, they're going to be naked. We didn't see his penis. We didn't need to see her breasts. We basically saw the almost saw her doggone vulva. But I just think that we can get the same thing.
Oh, okay, Diva. Thank you.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah. Okay. Boo. Okay. So I think that's absolutely a director thing. I think when you talk about him doing a great job of showing her as a whole person, I give credit to the screenwriter.
Yeah. I
don't give him credit for that. Of course, he had a role in it, but I give more credit to the screenwriter on that. I watched kind of an after thing where they showed about the building of the style of Billie Holiday. Mm-hmm. And the costumer was ridiculous in his detail. And it came through. It's so beautifully done, down to every extra who he made had the right buttons that they would have worn, the way they fold their socks back in the day. He was that guy. And she did that. If you didn't know she was a singer first, you wouldn't know.
Right.
He was brilliant in that role. And she sang the songs.
Yeah, and she sang.
It wasn't Billie. It was Andra, as she said. It was Andra.
Andra. Oh, okay, Andra.
It was Andra. She sang the songs. I called her Andra too till I heard her say her name in one of the screens. She sang the songs. When you look at the after credits, and there were moments, and I'm a Billie Holiday fan with albums in the other room, but there were moments where we were like, wait a minute, is that her? Or is that
right? Her? Right.
I can't. And it was her. She said she studied for this role for 2 years. So that she watched videos, she listened to interviews so that she could. Yeah, me either, Afro. Jazzy, so she could hear the inflection of her voice in certain situations and mimic that. And that's what commitment to the art will do for you. And I agree with somebody else who said earlier that Halle should have gotten it for.
Oh, of course. I mean, the Monsters Ball thing was such a makeup. Like, she's played much better roles with much more range. I remember when she won, I was like,
right,
because she showed her tits. Okay. And you know, like, that wasn't it's not my favorite role for her at all.
I mean, but also Denzel, while he did a great job in Training Day, should have won for Malcolm X.
But again, back to how they want to see us. Exactly. What they want to see and how they want to see us and what they reward us for doing. Because absolutely, Training Day is one of my faves, but not my favorite Denzel role. And, you know, he should have won for Malcolm X. He should have won for The Hurricane. He should have had like 3 Oscars before that.
Absolutely, he should have. Yeah. But anyway, okay. So I think
go see it.
Yeah, it's a go see. And yeah, I like that. You said you can tell her music was greatly influenced by her. And she said she was. And hence the day of her name. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
So our other go see or nobby is Amend, which is a series that is produced by Overbrook, Will Smith's group. And it is on Netflix, and it's a series of 6, I think, like an hour long, 6 hour long stories about basically how the Constitution came to be the Constitution that we know today. And how, you know, he talks a little bit about the 13th, but really how the 14th made it the Constitution that we know it. When I watched the first episode, I thought, okay, is this a love letter to Frederick Douglass? Because enough, all right. But then, okay, so this whole thing's gonna be about the 14th Amendment. And you know, while there is a big focus on the 14th Amendment, we talk about some other amendments as well. But what did you think?
I really, really, really liked it. And I'm gonna make you mad. Will Smith was highly unnecessary.
I agree with you. You know, I love him, but he was highly unnecessarily in it.
Highly unnecessary, and managed to overact in just the narration. Like, bro, have a seat. Like, I
agree with you. I can be objective.
But what I really liked was how when they were talking about people, like, I loved Mahershala bringing
Frederick Douglass to life.
I was just like, oh yes, honey. And I mean, so everything that they did that, like, I know some of the people, not know, but I've like Jeannie Sook Gerson, she's a professor at Harvard Law. I've met her before. So that was kind of cool. And people that I followed, Kimberly Crenshaw, and, you know, things like that. I liked the way that the stories were told. I liked how they took one episode to tell like a different reason that the 14th is important. And it made me, like, I have an electronic copy of the Constitution. It made me go back and read it.
Yes.
So I can read the whole thing and just kind of be like,
you know, the Constitution is not a long document. It's just not.
It's not.
And
react. Oh dear, he does have an overacting issue. He does, but he owns it too.
Yeah, he does. And I agree with you, Deb. Every American or people who claim to be patriots should see it.
Absolutely, they should.
I will tell you, there was a moment when I worried, you know, because they showed the whole black hand clasping with the white hand, and I was like, okay, is this what this shit is going to be? But it wasn't a hey, all this bad shit happened and now kumbaya. It wasn't that at all.
No.
When they called out, and this is where Will Smith was overacting, but I gave it was needed on this part. This was one of the parts where he was overacting, but this is the part where it worked, where he was talking about Abraham Lincoln and how your boy
okay. Yeah.
He's like, come on, that is not why he did this shit.
Right.
He really said, yes, that Abraham Lincoln. I mean, he was just like,
yes, that one.
That one.
Costa Rica?
Right.
I did chuckle. I did.
Yes. So, and then there were some things about the women's movement that, even though this is in my lifetime, that I didn't realize. I was a small child, and this is not a part of history that I have a deep understanding or knowledge of, or knowledge, I won't say understanding. So there were just some parts about the women's movement, how, really putting into context how recent it was that the Equal Rights Amendment was even considered for the first time, is so recent, such recent history.
Yeah. And how the 38th state just ratified it in 2020. Yes. And yet there's been no discussion of whether or not that's actually going to make it into the Constitution.
Right. Yeah. And then talking about the women's, how the biggest influence in the fight against ERA were women.
Of course.
And
that's how oppression works.
Yes, exactly.
First they do it to you, and then we do it to ourselves.
Exactly how it works. And Schlatley, or what's her name?
Phyllis Schlatley.
Schlatley. Ooh.
Mean Phyllis, they called her.
Right.
Now I got to go back and watch Mrs. America. It's a Hulu show, and Kate Blanchett plays her. So now I got to go.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Phyllis can get these hands too.
Yes.
So I seem the only person. No. They did talk about, however, though, that when
they did not.
No, but they did talk about, however, how in the whole suffrage movement, how white women were like, okay, we really want y'all to be able to vote too, but right now y'all are a distraction from the movement. So can you get to the back of the line? You can't march with us. You can't sit with us on Wednesdays we wear pink. So yeah, they did talk about that.
I'm not sure where she's from, DJ React, but it would not surprise me at all that she was from Florida. Right. That actually would track.
Yes. The whole, and how basically they had to use right to privacy as a way in for so many things, including
so many things.
Yeah, but including just a women's right to.
Can I just say, I need to say for the record, I need everybody to hear me say this. Don't ever, 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 ever refer to Bill Clinton again in your lifetime, jokingly or otherwise, as the first Black president.
Yeah.
The more I learn about his presidency, and I voted for him, like that was the first person I voted for, but the more I wasn't paying attention then.
No, and don't do that. Don't do that.
No, I'm saying I wasn't paying attention to politics as far as like what happened after the fact. I'm not saying I would take my vote back. I'm saying
don't do that. I wasn't paying attention then, because you were paying attention to what you thought you were supposed to be paying attention to. There was nobody to say, maybe there was no reason to think or know to consider these other things at that time.
Well, sure. I mean, but at 18, I was not paying attention to politics. Yeah. I was excited to vote, but I was not paying attention to politics. And the more I learn about the Clinton presidency and the things that he actively took down, voted against, put into place, and all of these things, I'm just like,
so look, I know that you were
with and I was like, oh shit.
And I know that you were with me. I know you're listening to to the current Black History Boot Camp. And did you listen to the one on Sister Soldier?
I haven't listened yet.
Oh,
to hers.
So listen, I'm with you on Bill Clinton. I'm having the same moment as you are, not surprisingly. Like, oh shit. Wait till you listen to the one on Sister Soldier. You are really going to be like, oh, okay, fuck you and your saxophone.
Yeah. I mean, I never liked that people joked about that, because I felt like the reason they said it was for all the wrong things anyway. Yeah. Like, he smoked weed, he was a womanizer. Like, those are not the things that I want associated with being a Black president. Right. So stop saying that shit. But politically, and just my mind is blown every time I learn something new. And I'm just like, you really were the worst.
I'm going to give you the worst. It'll ruin the episode for you, but there is a political phenomenon that they call the Sister Soldier moment. And it's because of what Bill Clinton did to her.
See, I know about that. I mean, I know the story. So I'm just like,
yes.
Did you read the new book?
No, I didn't. I heard it was.
I did too. I heard it was trash. I knew you were rereading The Coldest Winter Ever, but I was just like,
I will just tell you that one of our friends returned it to Audible. You know what friend I'm talking about? Returned it.
Oh, I can't wait to talk to her about that. Oh my God. Because as soon as I saw the review, I was like, I wonder what she thinks.
Yeah, she returned it. Yes, it was about his culture, not his lineage, DJ React. I know, right?
Yeah.
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 Okay. So y'all, we did it in 2.5 hours, which is great for us. But the number of items that we left off of this runner show so that we could do it is unbelievable.
2 words. Andrew Cuomo.
Oh, Uber cough. Thank you,
yeah, Uber cough.
I didn't have time for it. So there was an Uber driver, and he is, and I will say this, that they've put it into. I read about it because it was part of the Stop AAPI Hate campaign. He is of, I'm thinking, Indian lineage. He's here. He's an Uber driver. He's been doing it for 2 years. These 3 girls got in his car. They were recorded. He asked what started the altercation was that one of them did not have a mask on, and he asked her to put a mask on, and that triggered them. And they began calling him out his name, coughing on him, cursing at him. They snatched the mask away from him, snatched his phone. He ended the ride. They wouldn't get out of his car. He had to call the police. Look up the video because it is disturbing. These are not grown women. These are teenage girls. And 2 of them, the 2 who were the real aggressors, there's another one sitting in the back who's just kind of like, y'all wilding. But the 2 aggressors have been arrested.
Good.
Happened in the Bay Area. Look up the
video. How did I miss this? Oh my God.
These tricks, yes, trash. They deserve whatever is coming to them. And yes, I was just happy the main girl was white.
I was about to ask because you didn't say it. I was like,
they weren't all white. I don't think any of them was black, but they weren't all white. I think one of them is Latina. It's hard to tell, but if she ain't white, she's special white. So, I mean, but yeah, y'all watch that video. It was so embarrassing, and I felt so for him.
It's right up the street. What the hell?
Because he wanted to, in a fair world, he could have snatched one of them hoes. But he's a man. He can't do that. He's an immigrant. He really can't do that. Persian. She's Persian. 2
Black and 1 Persian. Ain't that a bitch?
There you go. Spicy white. I like that. We always say special, but I like spicy.
Spicy white.
Okay, there she is. Okay, so yeah, I was so
I just need to start watching the local news, Salty. I stay away from the local shit.
See, there you go. I'm not even gonna comment on that comment. So with that, let's close.
I read the paper though, so I'm just saying. I
just missed that. Really in a place about not knowing that, huh?
Yeah, I'm just like,
okay. So again, thank you guys for being here. Thanks for engaging like y'all do. Y'all make this so fun for us.
You did.
Yeah, love it, love it, love it. To follow us on our platforms, read our most recent blog post. Meta posted it, encouraged you to read it at the beginning of this broadcast, but read our most recent blog post, and it's on the intersection between feminism and chivalry. And we address, can they live in the same space? And you had it a second ago, Mickey, and then
I changed it. All right, wait a minute.
There you go.
Right?
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so, read it. We'd love to hear what you have to say about it. Comment on the post about it on our IG or one of our other social media accounts. We just want to hear from you guys, what you think about it. So anyway, thank you again. Follow us, and let's talk real quick about our partners. First partner, Curly and Spiritually Fit. 4 out of 5 Black and brown women are considered overweight or obese. So let's change that narrative. Curly and Spiritually Fit is a place where Black and brown women come together to take control over their health and their souls. Melanin Mindscape is a blog dedicated to Black TV, Black history, and Black lit. All melanin, all the time. And that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb. So Creative Sippin' is a unique and exciting paint and sip studio in Chicago. But don't worry if you're not in Chicago, because their studio there is always BYOB. You can bring your favorite drinks and snacks. But if you can't make it to one of their classes in the studio, then you can order a paint and a party box and enjoy all the fun in the comfort of your own home. We've done it. We've shown you the pictures. It's fun. The Disrupting Balance blog and podcast platform uplifts women embracing the transitions and decisions in their personal and professional lives. Actionable strategies plus purposeful content equals winning a life disrupted in your favor. Spiked Sweet Tea. It's a podcast hosted by April Nicole and Dina Haynes, two Black women from Atlanta, not Georgia. They are not the same thing. Hospitality, but spiked. Southern hospitality, but spiked. They discuss a range of topics, including pop culture, current events, health, society, and even politics. Gluten-Free Black Girl inspires flavor and creativity in your gluten-free meals. Starting the journey to transition to a gluten-free lifestyle is challenging for a number of reasons. You ain't found what you need, but anyway.
Facts.
But without representation, the frustrations grow. At Gluten-Free Black Girl, you'll find balance, comfort, and reassurance, making you feel empowered through your food, and good recipes and videos. Clay Botanics are handcrafted skincare blended with Ayurvedic, which I always say wrong, Ayurvedic and botanical ingredients to keep your skin and spirit feeling youthful and radiant. And maybe if you'll remember, Tamika, send us a picture when you have your mask on later today. Put it on our story so people can see about what that Clay Botanics about to do.
Will do.
Yes. Thank you again to all of our partners. You can find links to their websites on our website. Please go out there, go to their website, support them. And if you want to partner up with us, then hit us up. Shoot us an email at holla@twoferblog.com. That's HOLLA at twoferblog.com with partnership in the subject line, and we will do the rest. It's an opportunity for us to big up each other. So let's partner, y'all. That is it. We appreciate you. Oh, I'm so glad you found us too, Two-Spirit Trickster. But yeah, so follow us and you'll find out when we're going to be back next. We're glad to have you.
I'm just catching up on the chat. I'm not on pause. Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So yes, great talk. Love you, Mickey.
Love you back.
And let's do this again later. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.